Video ini digunakan untuk memenuhi tugas mata kuliah Farmakologi dan Toksikologi. Selamat menyaksikan.
Enak banget jalan-jalan sore ini ya.
Ya,
Bentar deh. Aku kayak kenal deh bunga ini. Ini Kecubung nggak sih?
iya aku juga pernah baca di literatur kayaknya bahaya.
Iya kan? Mau kamu apain? Bro. Jangan aneh-aneh bro. Jangan aneh-aneh bro. Duh, Ruk, kan Ruk, gimana ini Ruk? Oh, gila nih orang. Bangun.
Apa itu?
Halo.
Kenapa aku melihat bulan di sana? Oh iya, udah malam ya.
Aduh, gimana ini bro?
Ih.
Kita bawa ke rumah sakit nggak sih?
Iya, bro.
Kayaknya dia mabuk Kecubung dah ini.
Kan udah tak bilang kan tadi.
Apa itu?
Woi, bangun, woi.
Udah mulai stres.
Waduh, bahaya sih ini.
Why this terrible accident happened? Inside datura or kecubung, there are 3 important alkaloids. The first is atropine, a compound that can block nerve signals, often linked with effects on the eyes, heart, and brain. The second is scopolamine. Well known for its strong action on the central nervous system, it easily crosses into the brain and is responsible for disturbing perception and memory. And the third is hyoscyamine, a natural isomer that works similarly to atropine, but often more potent in its activity on the body's smooth muscles and nerves. Together, these 3 alkaloids define the powerful and toxic character of the Kecubung plant. This is how the toxicology mechanism works. When these alkaloids enter the human body, they immediately start interfering with the way our nervous system communicates. Normally, a chemical messenger called acetylcholine binds to muscarinic receptors in both the brain and other parts of the body. This binding is essential because it allows nerve cells to transmit signals that regulate many automatic functions like heart rate, digestion, muscle activity, and even memory and attention. But in the presence of compounds from datura, these receptors are blocked. Imagine the receptors as locks and acetylcholine as the key. Under normal conditions, the key fits perfectly, turning the lock and allowing information to flow. However, when atropine, scopolamine, or hyoscine attach themselves to these locks, the real key can no longer fit. The communication system is jammed, and the normal flow of information across the nervous system is disrupted. This blockage has a chain reaction. In the brain, it prevents proper coordination between regions responsible for awareness, memory, and perception. In the body, it interferes with signals that control essential functions such as saliva production, sweating, and muscle contractions. As a result, the person begins to feel changes that are not just physical, but also deeply psychological. The nervous system becomes unbalanced, like an orchestra playing out of tune. Every section is still active, but without harmony. Over time, this disturbance creates toxic and intoxicating effects. Instead of clear thinking and normal bodily control, the brain produces confusion, agitation, and altered states of consciousness. What begins as a small disruption at the level of chemical receptors spreads throughout the entire nervous system, creating a state where normal reality feels broken. This is the dangerous mechanism behind the toxic effects of datura, showing how powerful and at the same time harmful these natural compounds can be when they interfere with the chemistry of our brain and body. What are the effects to our body? Kecubung, or datura, contains powerful chemicals like atropine, scopolamine, and hyoscyamine. These substances block muscarinic acetylcholine receptors in the brain, disrupting the normal signals that keep our thoughts, memories, and movements in balance. Without acetylcholine, the brain's communication system breaks down. That's why people who consume kecubung can experience true hallucinations, seeing and hearing things that aren't there, because the brain can no longer separate reality from imagination. At the same time, blocking acetylcholine in the hippocampus causes severe amnesia, making the person unable to remember what just happened. When the motor areas of the brain are affected, it leads to loss of motor control. Their body feels clumsy, uncoordinated, and unstable. And in higher doses, the disruption spreads widely through the central nervous system, causing profound delirium and confusion. The person may look awake, but their mind is trapped in a storm of hallucinations and broken memories. When someone is suspected of datura poisoning, the first and most important step is to seek medical help immediately. At the hospital, doctors usually begin with supportive treatment, such as securing the airway, giving intravenous fluids, and closely monitoring heart function. If the plant was ingested recently, activated charcoal can be administered to absorb the toxins and prevent further absorption. In severe cases, especially when there are hallucinations, seizures, or life-threatening heart problems, doctors may use a specific antidote called physostigmine, which helps restore the balance of acetylcholine in the brain. However, this antidote must be given very carefully because of possible side effects. In short, quick medical attention and professional care are the keys to saving a life in datura poisoning. Self-treatment is never safe.